Are you looking for the best mirrorless cameras? The only 10 best mirrorless cameras you should consider today review, buying, guide. In this video, we will look at some of the best mirrorless cameras buying, guide, on the market. For more details and price, click product link, please. Check the description box below. Before we get started with our video. Number 1. Canon EOS R7 body only. Always having an amazingly capable camera on hand, with few compromises. The Canon EOS R7 camera stands out for its high-quality imaging in a compact body. It can capture sharp still images at up to 32.5 megapixels and HD video at up to 4K at 60 fps, using a body that's uncommonly compact yet functional. Its small size and lightweight make this camera ideal for travel and street photography. You make fewer sacrifices than you might expect for a camera of this size and price. It offers high speed up to 30 fps continuous shooting, which is great for sports or wildlife, or even just capturing that split moment when a parade float passes by. The camera uses the same DigicX image processor as the Canon EOS R3, a full-frame, $5,999 mirrorless body aimed at sports photographers, which gives it impressive speed, responsiveness and a broad ISO range. The Canon EOS R7 has sensor shift and body image stabilization that uses a 5-axis system, compatible with a variety of lenses. The camera has a 2.36 million OLED electronic viewfinder, as well as a 3-inch vari-angle touchscreen display with 1.62 million resolution. Like Canon's higher-end models, the R7's body is robust, with a dust and moisture-sealed construction that lets you shoot outside in poor weather conditions without fear of damaging the camera. Number 2. Canon EOS R6 body only. The Canon EOS R6 remains a capable shooter in a wide range of situations. However, it excels at photographing action, thanks to its fast burst mode, large buffer, and eye-tracking autofocus. This model's electronic shutter can fire off 20 frames per second for up to 1000 JPEGs and 240 RAW files. The camera's updated DigicX processor and dual-pixel CMOS ADII powers 1053 selectable focusing points, covering 100% of the frame, meaning you can focus on anything in frame with ease. The R6 shoots 4K resolution video at up to 60 fps, or 1080p resolution at up to 120 fps, which is great for slow-motion footage. It has a 3.5mm headphone port and separate 3.5mm external microphone port, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity options, and dual SDXC memory card slots. The rear display can be flipped to face forward for vlogging. The R6 uses Canon's RF mount lenses, but you can use a $100 adapter and your existing Canon EF lenses with the R6 as well. The updated Canon EOS R6 Mark II was released in late November 2022, and it improves on this model's maximum continuous shooting rate and other aspects of its imaging, focus and design, but the camera is in short supply and frequently out of stock at retailers. Number 3. Canon EOS R10 body only. The Canon EOS R10 offers a rather compact design and impressive resolution. Whether you're shooting still images or video, while you can buy the body alone, it currently goes in and out of stock. Via the same link, Amazon also sells this camera bundled with your choice of an 18-150mm RF S $1,379 or 18-45mm RF S $1,099 Canon lens. The R10 supports a wide range of lens mounts, including Canon's EF and EFS mount with a $100 adapter. This model is surprisingly fast, with good support for shooting fast-moving subjects, but only for short bursts given its internal components and more limited buffer. Look to this model's big sibling, the Canon R6, to see a similar frames per second rating, which can last for longer sustained bursts due to the camera's electronics. This camera offers the versatility and functionality you'd expect from a more expensive mirrorless camera. It can automatically detect people, animals and vehicles across 651 autofocus zones, for example, and it handles 4K video capture at 60 frames per second. In line with its lower-tier pricing, the R70 lacks a weather-sealed body, and image stabilization is video only. It supports microphone input for using an external microphone. Number 4. Nikon Z5 body only. The Nikon Z5 is a great choice for those with a tighter budget who want to graduate to a full-frame mirrorless camera. This model is ideal for beginners and enthusiasts alike. Between its price and strong feature set, The camera also shoots video at 4K video at 30 fps, as opposed to 60 fps like some more pricey competitors. The camera body is durable and weather-sealed, an unusual find at this price, so it can be used in a variety of shooting situations. The overall performance is good for an entry-level camera. The biggest drawback is its slow continuous shooting speed, just 4.5 fps, making it a poor choice for capturing sports, for example. And its rear display merely tilts, limiting the creative angles you can achieve. Number 5. Sony Alpha A6400. Perhaps the most impressive feature of the Sony Alpha A6400 is its autofocus capabilities. It relies on contrast detect and phase detect processes and has 425 focus points. It delivers superb tracking performance of faces and eyes, and it's easy to select tracking and focus from the touch screen. While on the subject of the touch screen, although it's not fully articulating, the screen does tilt 180 degrees. This means you can see it above the camera body from the front. It's more limited than a fully articulating screen, but less prone to damage. And it's better than a screen that only tilts. Image stabilization is lens only, which is a little surprising given what the competition is doing. The external microphone socket is a bonus, but there is no headphone socket. Connectivity is a mixed bag, a good range of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and smartphone control, but only a UHSI-compliant SD card slot. The rock-solid autofocus might be the thing that sways you. After all, there's not much point in being able to record images faster if they're all out of focus. Although the Sony E-lens mount is proprietary, there are third-party lenses. And if you can afford it, there are high-end full-frame lenses that fit. Remember, though, that with FF lenses, there will be a crop factor of 1.5. Number 6. Sony 6700. The Sony 6700 is the best mid-range model we've tested. It's an impressive upgrade from Sony's older APS-C cameras like the Sony 6600, with a new sensor and processor, including a new AI-powered chipset that gives the 6700 one of the most effective AF systems on the market. The camera is also relatively portable, has IBIS, and includes some fairly advanced video features, including 4K at 120 fps, albeit with a significant crop and internal 10-bit 4:2 recording. Another great choice in this price range is the Fujifilm X-S20. Its autofocus system isn't quite as reliable as the Sony's, and it can't record 4K video at 120 fps. However, it's still a very impressive hybrid camera, with 4K 60 fps recording. Unlike the 6700, it even supports OpenGate's 6.2K video capability and raw video output to an external recorder. Those who prefer a more hands-off approach to editing will also love Fuji's JPEG, colors, and film simulation profiles. But Sony's extensive lens options and ultra-reliable AF make the 6700 a better overall pick. Number 7. Canon EOS R50. If you're on a tighter budget, the Canon EOS R50 is one of the best bang-for-your-buck mirrorless cameras you can get brand new. Sitting below the Canon EOS R10, this is a great entryway into serious photography for those who've never used a camera before. It has a highly portable body that makes it easy to grab and go, along with simple controls and easy-to-use auto modes for beginners. Plus, its APS-C sensor captures excellent image quality, and this camera has a great autofocus system and video specs for the price. Lens options for Canon's RF mount are still limited. But on the upside, the camera is compatible with both APS-C and full-frame RF lenses, which makes it easier to upgrade to a full-frame body down the line, if you want to. If you'd like a more compact camera kit with more lens options, the Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV is a great alternative with a Micro Four Thirds sensor. However, its autofocus system isn't as reliable, and its ergonomics are somewhat lacking. Number 8. Sony A7 IV Camera. Sony's A7 IV 9/10, while it recommends is a 33-megapixel full-frame camera capable of incredibly sharp images, with excellent dynamic range and the best autofocus system on the market. It's compact and light enough to carry all day without back strain, and the grip is comfortable. The 5-axis image stabilization means you can hand-hold it in lower light, and the wide range of 4K video options make it the best all-around video and stills combo on this page. There are better still cameras, see the Sony A7RV below, and better video cameras. But nothing else combines the two quite as well. What I don't like about it, or any other Sony, is the labyrinthine menu system. Luckily, there are enough customizable buttons that it's not too difficult to set things up, so you never need to dive into the menus. Specs: 33 megapixel full frame sensor, 10 frames per second, fps. 7K oversampled for K 30 fps video, SD and express cards. Number 9. Sony A7RV. The new A7RV uses the same 61 megapixel full frame sensor as its predecessor, which remains largely unmatched unless you opt for medium format cameras. If that's not enough, there's a 16-shot high-resolution mode that can create 240 MP images so long as your subject is static, e.g. a landscape. The dynamic range is outstanding, and the ability to recover detail in the shadows is something you'll only believe once you do it yourself. The primary improvements over the previous model are increased autofocus speed and intelligence, a huge new viewfinder, and, although this might sound strange, an option for smaller RAW files. Fully uncompressed RAW files from this sensor run around 125 megabytes per image. There are now options to shoot large, medium, or small lossless compressed RAW files. I haven't tested this model, but I will update this guide after I do. Specs: 61 megapixel full frame sensor, 10 fps with full AF 12-bit RAM, 6 fps for 14-bit RAW, 8K 24 fps video, dual SD-CF cards. Number 10. Nikon ZF Mirrorless Camera. The Nikon ZF 8/10, while it recommends, is the camera I would buy if I were in the market for a new camera. I grew up in the film era, and I am still more comfortable turning dials and knobs than I am using touch screens. The Nikon ZF offers just that. Every setting you need to make an image is accessible on a dial or knob. ISO, aperture, shutter speed, and exposure compensation. There's also a switch to change shooting modes, and another to change to black and white mode or video mode. The ZF looks like a 1980s film camera, but the 24 megapixel sensor and speedy autofocus system is decidedly modern and every bit as good as our other Nikon pick, above faster at autofocus thanks to its updated processor. There's no beefy grip to hold on to, though you can buy one. And I hate that Nikon doesn't give you a battery charger. But otherwise, the Nikon ZF is a fantastic camera. I suggest the version with the 40mm lens, which pairs well with this body. Specs: 24 megapixel full frame sensor, 13 fps for K 60 fps video, cropped for 60 fps.